So what is a resume? A resume is very simply put a brief summary of your skills and abilities. It is ultimately a one-page reflection of how you see yourself as being the ideal candidate for a position. Don't have work experience? Not much to share regarding your education? That's okay. In 5 easy steps, I'm going to show you how you can put your best foot forward and show your future employer that you have what it takes. This introduction video will give you all the tools you need to create a good resume and will collect all of the information you will need with future resumes. If you have the technology, we encourage you keep this presentation up and pause it as we go through the steps to compile your personal information and continue to do so with the upcoming videos. Your header. Let's start by opening up a Word document. If you want to save this document to your desktop, I encourage you to do so. Call it the most important thing or my life in a nutshell. Something that you will remember because the end result will be what you need to easily personalize every resume for every job you apply to. Okay, now let's go ahead and complete step number 1, which is your header. Don't worry about the formatting and the font just yet. Let's focus on getting your basic information in place. Your header should include who you are, where you live, and how an employer can contact you. Go ahead and write your full name. Underneath this, let's put the city and state you live in. I don't recommend putting your full address for safety reasons. If you post your resume on Indeed or eHired or any other job search website, this information is out there for the world. If they want your full address, they will ask for it on an application, which goes directly to the employer. Next, you should put your contact information. Your email should be one with a professional name. Debbie's Dank Dungeon at Hotmail or 420Dan for life at Gmail. Not good professional emails. Take the time to create an email that is good for professional use, such as Debbie Davis 2 at Hotmail or Dan 2020 at Gmail. Include a professional phone number you have access to, cell phone or house phone, whatever you're going to answer. Make sure your voicemail is also professional. If you're applying for an IT position and want to show your skills and abilities, you could add a website that you have designed. A personal website, for those that are inclined, can reflect all the information from your resume and could potentially deter an employer from trying to search for your web presence or social media. A side note, and an important one, if you have social media accounts and you have shared pictures or content that you think might be perceived negatively by an employer, make sure to switch them to private so that only friends and family can see your posts. That's it. Your first step is done. Only 4 more to go. Your objective or your career statement. Most employers only take 10 to 15 seconds to review a resume. What you say here can make or break their decision before they even get to your personal information. This information should be personalized for each position you apply to. Let's go ahead and use this Word document for the rest of your resume content. We discuss further why the rest of this information may be different and may change depending on the job you apply to in the following videos. If you have experience in the position or something like it, let's go ahead and provide a career statement. Let's say, as an example, you're applying for a sous chef position, and you can safely say you have qualifications for the position. A career statement is the best way to go. An example would be, I have 3 years of experience working in a fast-paced kitchen. I've received multiple certifications and training in culinary arts, and have 1 year of experience managing staff. This career statement is very general and brief, but it tells your future employer right away what you have done before they go any further with what remains of their 15-second review of your resume. If you do not have experience, or you feel the rest of the content in your resume does not speak to any specific aspects of the job description, we're going to go ahead and put an objective statement here. This is an opportunity to utilize keywords, something that we will also discuss in further detail in the upcoming videos. An example of an objective statement would speak to your desire to get this job. An example would be, I'm a passionate student with a desire to advance my career in culinary arts, or seeking an opportunity in a professional environment that allows me to grow, learn, and advance in my pursuit of a career in culinary arts. These are both generic statements that we can build on, and again, we will discuss this later. On your Word document, go ahead and create a brief objective or career statement now. Feel free to pause this video if you're doing this now. Work experience. With step 3, we want to get your work experience down on paper. An important step to remember moving forward with our remaining content is to ensure that we always follow the same format of content. With all of your experiences moving forward, make sure to include the following information: the company, the location, what you did, and when you did it. Everything needs to be in reverse chronological order. Your most recent experience should be listed here first, followed by the previous experience, and the experience before that. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example. Later, we will look at some resume examples, and you can modify the way this looks to fit the format that feels best for you. For now, let's just enter your work information following this format on your Word document. If you have worked multiple jobs, let's get this information down on paper. Go ahead and take the time to do this now. Feel free to pause the video again. Now we're going to look at education. You're getting the hang of this. Let's focus on your education. Remember, you should be following the same format as your work experience: the school, the location, what you achieved, and when you did it. Take a look at this example. Remember, this information needs to be included in reverse chronological order. Go ahead again and pause this video if you're following along and include this information on your Word document. And now we're on to step 5. This is everything else about you. Our goal here is to ensure when your resume is complete that you have just one page of information. The information is simple and it's easy to read, and the information you are providing pertains to your experiences that make you best suited for this position. Go ahead and write down these headers on your Word document underneath your work experience and your education. Remember, we're going to polish this information later, so it doesn't matter what order you list these things. Now let's take the time to reflect on your life experiences. If you've ever done any volunteer work of any kind, let's add this information. Showing an employer at your young age that you are humble enough to work in the community and not receive a salary shows you are getting valuable work experience and education from being involved. Did you help set up events at your local church? Did you take part in a bake sale to benefit a nonprofit organization? Let's not get into the details just yet. Remember to follow the same format as above: the organization you volunteered with, their location, what you did, and when you did it. If you don't have specific dates, this is okay. Just put the year that you did this. Here are a couple of examples. Let's go ahead and pause the video here so that you can reflect on what you have done in the past in each of these categories. You might even ask others that know you. Having that outside perspective can make a world of difference in your final product. Okay, these other categories follow the same process. If you've received any honors or awards, taken part in any extracurricular activities during school, such as student government, debate, drama, or anything that you think might come in handy when completing your resume. What we are doing here is not completing your resume. We're simply getting down all the important information that we could potentially use on your final product. Make sure to follow the same format: the place you did stuff, the city and state, the award you received or the activity you took part in, and the year. It may feel funny to list your information this way, but we are going to be discussing applicant tracking systems and why it is important to keep the same format in one of our following videos. With your skills, let's worry less about the formatting and focus on you. What have you learned in your life that makes you who you are? How could you best describe your personal attributes? This is information that we may or may not use on your final draft, but it is a great idea to have these written down so that when we start adding details, we have some key words written down. In this section, you can also include anything that you think may come in handy on the job. For example, experience with Microsoft, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, your typing speed, or use of any tools that you may use in your chosen field. Before we move on to how to put this information together in the most presentable format, make sure you have taken the time to review each of these categories, ensure your information is correct, and that you have everything down that you think you might need or what would be a good addition to a resume. It's okay if you're running onto a second page. When we format your resume in one of the upcoming videos, we will be picking and choosing what information to include, what order to put it in, and how to keep that 10 to 15 second review of your resume focused on all the right information. Get this all down on your Word document. Take some time to walk around and reflect on whether there might be more information you would like to include. Have somebody else review this information. And then review it one last time before you start the next video. In no time at all, you will have a professionally designed resume that will increase your odds of getting that interview. We got this.